Alright, quick update on green Metaverse tokens. So if you are a seasoned veteran to my channel and you've been watching my past couple of videos, you know that I've been talking about how this bullish uptrend that we've been seeing on GMT has been perfectly supported by these 4 hourly EMA ribbons. Every time we have a correction, we come down into these EMA ribbons, and worst comes to worst, the worst pullback we've had out of the long-term moving average at the bottom of these 4 hourly EMAs was a 7.5% drop. We are now coming down into the bottom of these long-term moving averages again. So in theory, if we do follow what we previously have done, and this is just a correction, then we should not drop below $3.20. However, we could potentially come down as low as a 10% drop and come down and retest the previous all-time high. I wouldn't put it past it. However, it would be very shaky at that point. As you can see, we've got an all-time high accumulation range. We came up to the 1.618 fib, made our filled our Fibonacci target. We came down to the all-time high. That's completely fine. Then we came back up to the 1.618 again. We didn't hit the next price target, and we did something like a triple top, where you can see if we connect these 3 dots, you've got a triple top right here, and we are now coming back down into your EMA ribbons. And if we zoom in on the 4 hourly time frame, you can see we are emming out. While I don't have a problem about emming out if we do hold the long-term moving average, because you can see we even had a head and shoulders pattern into the EMA ribbons before, and we didn't even make it down to the long-term moving average. We are now in the long-term moving average. If we look at our momentum indicators like the squeeze one, we are flipping over to the bearish side of things on the 4 hourly. On the daily, we are starting to run out of momentum. This is warning sign number 1 for GMT. You do not want to see this running out of momentum. Like I've been saying in my past couple of videos, I believe a breakdown of the previous all-time high would be the nail in the coffin. For green Metaverse token, I personally have my stop loss down here. Let me actually mark it. Okay, I did not mean to bring up this. If we can get the text box. So I'll put SL down here. You know that this is my stop loss down here at the 786 Fibonacci. My stop loss is approximately at $2.88. If you're new to my channel, we got in on GMT all the way down here, somewhere between 30 and 40 cents. I can't remember exactly the price target, but we've been on a wild rally since then. I haven't taken profits yet on GMT. We're up almost 9x on this trade. So if we do come down, we do break the trend. Remember, I always say this, the trend is your friend until the end. So far, these 4 hourly EMAs have been the exact bottom for GMT every single time. We've never had a move below 7.5%. So even being conservative, we shouldn't have a move below 11%, because then we'd be taking out the all-time high. Believe me, it is not good to have an all-time high, an accumulation range, and then making a new all-time high at the 1.6. That by itself is perfect, don't get me wrong. Retesting the all-time high, consolidating on the all-time high, don't get me wrong, that is perfect. A push back above the previous all-time high, that is perfect. And then having a triple top and not actually making it to the next fib target, that's not what you want to see. So if we're already seeing, you know, what I just explained, a move back down to your all-time high would be extremely bearish in my opinion. We've already consolidated for a very long period of time on the previous all-time high. Coming back to the previous all-time high and consolidating again is not what you want to see. Now, to wrap up this video, my final upload of the day is going to be an overview of what is going on in the total market cap. So this is going to encompass what's going on in Bitcoin, the altcoin market cap, the stock market, and also the dollar. I think it's very important, if you only watch my crypto videos, that you should maybe watch tonight's video and get an overview of what's going on in the general markets, because you've got, you know, blue chip stocks like Tesla, Coinbase making new lows, Facebook dumping after its quarterly report, the dollar showing extreme strength, and the stock market tumbling. So a lot of people don't care on my crypto videos about what's going on in the stock market. I completely understand. If I'm honest, I barely care about what's going on in the stock market. I only care because Bitcoin follows the stock market. And if the stock market is going to start tumbling, then while I don't necessarily care about these stocks that I don't own dumping, I do care about them having an effect on Bitcoin. And while GMT has proved itself to be a market outlier at this point, I don't think if the macro markets, like the stock market, is going to be dumping, that Bitcoin would be able to pump out of that and GMT would be a market outlier and try and pump out of that. I think we'd be breaking down. But like I said, I'm not flipping bearish on GMT yet. I have a stop loss down here at 288, worst comes to worst. Like I said, the trend is your friend until the end. These 4-hourly EMAs are an absolute godsend. Every time we've corrected into them, we've blasted out of them. So there should be absolutely no reason why we should have an 18% drop out of these 4-hourly EMAs unless we're going to break bearish. So I remain bullish while we're in these 4-hourly EMAs. If we have a retest of the all-time high at $3.12, so be it. I'd like to see us blast out of there soon after. But like I said, worst comes to worst, I get stopped out in a 9x trade down here at $2.86 on GMT. So that is all I've got for GMT. As always, the trend is your friend until the end. You can even argue that while this is an M, this could potentially be a W pattern, potentially playing out if we do get a bounce from the 4-hourly EMA ribbons. Now, I'm on the fence whether we're going to have a bounce. Personally, I'm sitting on the sidelines. I already hold a big bag of GMT that has made me a decent amount of profit, so I'm not really looking to DCA back into the markets if you did want my opinion on that. However, I would not be against having myself get stopped out. Let's say we come down to my stop loss and we stop out and then we have a correction for a decent amount of time. I wouldn't be opposed to re-DCAing back into the market with the profits I had taken on my stop loss. Like I'm saying, I'm personally thinking a breakdown to the all-time high could be likely. However, these 4-hourly EMA ribbons are the trend, and the trend is your friend until the end, until we have a solid breakdown below them. And no, I don't mean a breakdown to the all-time high at 312 and then a pump back above them. That would be completely fine. That would be somewhat akin to what we've previously done down here. But if we do come down to the all-time high and lose the all-time high, I think I'd be getting stopped out down here. I think GMT would be breaking into a bearish trend. Like I said, the trend is your friend until the end. We wouldn't be trying to catch the falling knife on the downtrend. We'll be waiting for another macro reversal signal. Until that happens, these 4-hourly EMAs are your #1 level of support. Keep your eyes on 347. If we have a breakdown from there, that means we're out of the EMA ribbons. The sooner we get back into them and start pumping back above them, the better. That's all I've got for GMT. As always, none of this is financial advice, just my opinion on the market. And before we wrap up the video, the Cowboy Discord has finally been made. It is a great place where you can go to share time-sensitive information, memes, talk with the community, share altcoin picks, chart setups. It is really just a chill place to kind of share memes and chat to the community. That is why I made it. I hope to see you all there. As always, Cowboy out. Peace.